Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Very good. The 20th verse, which we saw in the last class, is introducing yet another unmanifest being. There is a manifest one and there is an unmanifest. The manifestation and unmanifestation. The unmanifest coming to manifestation is called creation, birth. The manifest folding back to unmanifestation is called destruction, death. Wake up, sleep. Wake up, sleep. Waking up, sleeping. This is Vyakta and Avyakta. And now suddenly he introduces there is another Avyakta. And that's why very cautiously he uses these words. There is yet another Avyakta. Because he uses two words here, tu and anya. This in the first line. Paras tasmatu. Paraha tasmat tu. Paras tasmatu. Bhavonya. Bhavaha and anyaha. This tu and anyaha gives this is a very interesting coinage. Yet another. Because he is trying to distinguish between two Avyakta. Avyakta 1, Avyakta 2. Now between two things when you are trying to distinguish, the distinction can be within something or totally different. For example, when we say table, chair, cart, sofa, they are all different things. But all these things have one thing common. What is it, sir? All these things were called as furniture. Isn't it? Refrigerator is different. Your mixie is different. Grinder is different. Washing machine is different. Dishwasher is different. They are all different things. But they all come under one category. Kitchen. All these things will be used in the kitchen. You don't keep mixie in your bedroom. You don't keep it because they are belonging to that same category. Within that same category, there is difference. Since he is using that same word Avyakta to refer, we may come to a conclusion that the nature and properties of this Avyakta and that Avyakta, there is something common between the two. He says there is nothing common between the two. They are totally different. How he is indicating that is through these two words, yet another unmanifest being. There is one manifest which all of us can connect, which is experienceable. Manifest in the sense, Vyakta means perceptible. Perceptible not only to the eye space. Anything that you can experience. You can feel your emotions. Therefore, emotions are Vyakta. You can recognize your thoughts. Therefore, they are Vyaktam. Means manifested. You can connect. You can experience them. Relatable. Perceptible. But when it comes to this, the foundation, when it comes to the vasanas, unmanifest. At the individual level, microcosm. When you take the same idea to macrocosm, Vyakta, if you take to be the whole world, then Avyaktam is this is Karyam. The Karanam is the cause, is the unmanifest. What is that unmanifest? That is what is known as Maya. This Maya is Avyaktam. When you are discussing the same verse from macrocosm. The microcosm level, if you are going to discuss the same verse, then it is manifest is your desires, your body, mind, intellect, all that is manifest. What is unmanifest is your vasanas. Unmanifest number one. Okay. Now he has to say there is one more thing. Now, what is one more thing? That one more thing can never be called as, there is another Vyaktam, he would have said no. Yet another, there is one more Vyakta. Why is he saying yet another unmanifest? He could have said yet another manifest. If it is manifest, by very definition, you would have known by now. Because Vyakta meaning is what? Knowable, experienceable, perceptible. But what he is referring to is impossible to experience. It is beyond your perceptions, beyond emotions, beyond all thought possibilities. Therefore, he has to use only the word Avyakta. There's no way that Krishna would have used yet another Vyakta. Not possible. Because Vyaktam is multiple. Avyaktam is singular. Vyaktam can be many. But Avyaktam, unmanifest, is only one. There is only one unmanifest. And he says there is one more unmanifest, which is totally different and distinct in character. What is the distinction? That's what he is giving in the next line. Second line, he explains that. What is the distinction? Eternal. Yasa sarveshu bhuteshu. Yes. This is Sanatana. This is eternal, which is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed. Ashyatsu navinashyati. All beings. When all beings are destroyed also, this is not destroyed, this is eternal. So, what is that another Avyakta? Avyakta number 2 is equal to Sanatana. Understood is Avyakta number 1 is not Sanatana. That is not eternal. This is eternal. The second one is eternal one. That which is no dissolution and no manifestation. The first Avyakta has manifestation has dissolution. Now, how do you understand it? It gives a beautiful example, very easy to understand. What you see at yonder, if I show, you see a tree. It's a tree. Okay. Tree is Vyaktam. Avyaktam is what? Seed. Seed is Avyaktam. Tree is manifested. Experience. You can see. This is the trunk, this is the branch, this is the leaf, this is the twig, this is the flower, this is the fruit, etc. You can see all there. But all these things came out from where? From the seed. When you open the seed, what do you see inside? You will not see a miniature form of a tree inside that seed. It's nothing. You can bisect it. You can take it under my microscope and see. Still, you will not find a trace of the tree in the seed. Nowhere you can locate it. But still, what is the cause of the tree? It is the seed. So seed, tree. Seed, tree. Tree is Vyaktam. Seed is Avyaktam. Now, what Krishna is referring to, yet another Avyakta, is the earth, the soil. Now, is the soil manifest or unmanifest? It is totally different. It has got nothing to do with the tree. It has got nothing to do with the seed. You see, that's all he gives. So don't, get it really, complex. There's nothing complex there. The idea is not a complex idea, but it's a fascinating idea for us to contemplate. There is yet another unmanifest being, which is eternal in nature. It is eternal, it is. So don't waste your time. That's all. Implication is only that. Implication is don't waste your time in searching, in getting involved in the cycle of manifest and manifest, manifest and manifest, manifest and manifest. Get out of that and go to that Avyakta, which is Sanatana, which is eternal. That is not destroyed. That doesn't get destroyed. When the tree gets destroyed, when the seed gets destroyed, earth is not destroyed. The field is not destroyed. The soil is not destroyed. Soil is intact. In fact, the seed and the tree can exist only because of the soil, the field, earth. It is in the support of earth, the whole thing is happening. In the presence of earth only, all this is happening. Same way here. It is in the presence of that one. You can know so many things. You can know so many things. At no point of time you can get to know one thing. The subject. The knower can never be known. You can never bring the knower to the position of this known. Therefore, what is it? Now, can you say what is that knower? Knower is always remaining unmanifest, unknown. All other subjects in the world can be classified into two sections: known, unknown. Do you know this? You may say yes, you may say no. Now, whenever you say no, doesn't mean you can never know. Right? As on date, I don't know. You know Hindi. I say, I don't know Hindi. That doesn't mean I can never know Hindi in my life. right? You know how to play guitar. I know how to play guitar. Then I can start learning. I can start working on that. Over a period of time, after 2 years or 3 years, if you ask me, do you know how to play guitar? I'll say yes. I may say yes. Known, unknown. Known, unknown. There was a time once you knew how to write. Remember, some of you may remember, we used to write in those days. Right? In your mother tongue, you would be struggling now to write. Ask a person to write an article, not that, copy. You don't have to write anything on your own. Whatever you see there, you just see that and write. But in the CV of the person, he will say what? What are the languages you know? I know how to speak, I know how to read, I know how to write. Earlier and all, I used to really wonder, why are they saying, if you can read, you should be able to write, no. If you can write, you should be able to read, no. Why you got to specify that I can write? You're not in touch. When you are not in touch with that, after a point of time, you forget how to write. You don't know now. You'll be asking how to write this, how to write that. The hand doesn't move. Why? What was known has become unknown. What is unknown can be converted into known. Known can be converted to unknown. Unknown can be converted to known. That is possible. Everything. But the knower can never be converted. The knower will always remain in the background. You can never bring him to the forefront. You can never know the knower. The knowing principle always stands behind. That is that which is not destroyed. There is no destruction for that at all. No destruction means no creation. So destruction means unknown here. Creation means known. It can never be known or it can never be unknown. So therefore he says that Avyakta is totally different from the first Avyakta. Now we can just go on with this idea. Beautiful concept. Yet another unmanifest being. What is that yet another unmanifest being? That this is totally different from the first Avyaktam. There's no connection at all between the two. To refer to it, I am using that same word, Avyaktam. Now, why he is using that word, we can't go and fight with him and say, how dare you use it? See, so which word to use or not, we can't ask. But he justifies that beautifully. It is totally different from the first Avyaktam. In what way it is different? It is Sanatana, eternal. It's eternal one. So that's how it is totally different. What is manifest? Manifested one is the waking and dream state of consciousness is manifested. The unmanifested state is the deep sleep. Deep sleep state of consciousness is unmanifest. That pure consciousness is beyond that deep sleep. It is beyond all that. So to indicate that it is beyond all this, beyond both Vyaktam and Avyaktam, he says there is yet another object. That's all. Just to indicate it. So he says this Brahman, the pure consciousness, Atman, self, soul, life principle, God principle, etc. You can go on adding. So what is the first objecta then, sir? For our convenience, we replace the words. Vyaktam is Jagat. Avyaktam is Maya. The first objecta. Then Brahman is Avyakta. The second object. So when you are reading this first word, Vyakta, put it as Jagat and Jiva. Jiva and Jagat is what is referred. Microcosm, macrocosm. Okay. Then first Avyakta means what? Means Maya or Vasanas. Vasana. Second Avyakta is pure consciousness or Brahman. Atman, Brahman. That's all. So once you put it like this, then verse becomes easier for you to understand. Now, whatever you wanted to ascribe to Jiva, you can keep on adding to the Jiva and then to Vasanas. And then you can go on expanding that idea of what is the meaning of Vasanas, and you can look at it from various angles. Jiva, you can look at it from various angles. All that you can do. That's the idea of these three words. Vyaktam, Avyakta, and yet another Avyakta. There is a second Avyakta. So like that you have to study. Now this is the introduction. So from 20 to 22, Krishna is going to be explaining this. What is the nature, Swarupa of Brahman? Brahma Swarupa. Not Brahma. Brahma is different. Okay. We are referring to Brahman. Right. Verse number 21. Avyaktoksara ityukta. Tamahu paramam gati. Yam prapya nanivartante. Tattama paramam mama. The unmanifested is called the imperishable. Which unmanifest? Unmanifest means the second unmanifest. Okay. The first unmanifest is useless one. The second one is the best. So we take the best. The unmanifested is called the imperishable. It is said to be the ultimate goal. Those who reach it do not return. That is my supreme abode. Now each sentence, one idea is given with reference to that object. The first one, he says, the unmanifested is called the imperishable. Imperishable means not what we understand as first object. The first object, the Vyakta and Avyakta, is perishable and imperishable. Perishable, imperishable. Perishable, imperishable is two. This perishability and imperishability both are intellectual ideas, intellectual concepts. Now you can't be limiting Brahman, God, to intellectual ideas. The words cannot describe. Therefore, he says, it is called the imperishable. It is imperishable. Okay, let it be imperishable. So what? Our argument will be, okay, so it is imperishable, sir. Maybe it is like plastic. You think? Never perishable. It is always there. It's like that. Is it like that, sir? Now let it be. No. So what? No, no, no. That imperishable, unmanifest is said to be the ultimate goal. Paramam Gati. That is the ultimate one. Ultimate goal. Final goal. Now, what ultimate goal means what? Ultimate goal means there is no other goal equal to that goal. There's nothing equal to it. The one who is seeking that goal of all that any human can aspire to seek in his life, the highest goal ever possible to be sought by a person is that to put in that effort to know the knower is an extraordinary thing. You can go on questioning. Anything you can question, but you can never question the questioner. The questioner's existence is taken for granted, isn't it? Your existence is taken for granted. Then you start questioning everything. You get to take it for granted that I know what it is. You see, the beauty of life is this. Anything which is so sublime, so noble, subtle, will look very easy for all of us. We say, how do you know that, sir? Next time, whenever we have, these Carnatic concerts we have in Fort High School, you will be there, right? You go to the Carnatic concert. You will find people sitting there and they'll be listening to music, or even people listening to this music also. See. And you will find some of them singing along with them. And some of them, while coming back, walking back to the parking lot, they'll be singing and coming. No Shruti, no, raga, sense, nothing they'll have. You see. But they sing. And they genuinely think they are singing exactly like how that musician sang. And they exactly think, they are singing like Madurai Maniyer. Yeah, Madurai Maniyer sings, like, ooh, and all he will say. Now, ooh, Allah, ooh, Allah, only Madurai Maniyer is special, that is. It's not done by anyone. But any common man who attends, his concerts, listen to his songs, his singing, it looks singing so easy. Like when Virat Kohli is scoring runs, it looks so easy to bat. When Sehwag is playing, or when Lara playing and all, if you see, right, scoring is so easy. There's no fielders at all in the field. There's supposed to be 11 fellows. No, where are they? You will be asking. Where are the 11 fellows are supposed to be there on the field, man? Where are you guys? You don't know. It's not that, he's hitting, like Chris Gayle. No. Sixer. That's what they show, this VVS Lakshman, innings against Australia. Rated as one of the all-time best. The double century. That extraordinary stand between Rahul Dravid and VVS Lakshman. What is the beauty of that innings? No sixer, only 4. On the ground only. You just keep playing on the ground. When those guys are playing, Hitting a ball looks so easy. When Federer is playing tennis looks so easy. You know, because before the ball comes, he is there already. Right. So all that he is doing is, tap here, tap there, tap, 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 tap. He touches here, touches there, done. And you see that, particularly we watch the TV, as if it's a small screen. So we think, tennis is only that much. And we watch tennis match, not, only the, Grand Slams only we watch. We don't watch all the local Grand Slams only we see. In the Grand Slam also, we will not see from the first, this one. We will start seeing only from quarterfinals. Right. More or less quarterfinals are all, competed by people who are, top 8, top 10, like that. And semifinals will come top 4 and finals top 2. The best 2 fellows will be playing. When those guys play, it looks so easy. I genuinely thought. I don't know how many of you, but I genuinely felt it. Tennis is not big, this one. Till I entered the court. Actually, I saw the first time. I have never seen a tennis court. When I saw the tennis court first time and I entered, only then I realized it's really far. I thought it's really far. You hit here and the fellow hits next this side. To reach from one end of the court to the other end of the court is so far. I said, anything you go to the height, meditation looks so easy for all of us. Meditation looks so simple. All that you have to do is what? Close your eyes and sit. Observe your thoughts. Where? See, to make any observation, you have to take a particular position and stay in that position without moving. Only then you can observe, isn't it? When there is a position you are going to take. Well, what is the position you are going to take and stand there? Establish yourself in that post. You got to stand in the balcony for you to see the procession going. Where are you now? I am going to observe when you say, observe your thoughts. Very simple, sir. All that you have to do is what? Just observe your thoughts. To which, what is the stand you are going to take? That's what this fellow asked Galileo. Give me a fixed point. I'll move the earth, he said. The problem is what? I don't know where is the fixed point. What is the fixed point where I can stand? Observe your thoughts. Looks so easy. The ultimate goal will always look so easy. Very easy, sir. Difficulty is to make money. See, earning, money is a problem. Understanding Bhagavad Gita is not a problem at all. Explaining Bhagavad Gita also not a problem at all. You know what is the real problem of all spiritual fellows? All spiritual gurus have only one problem. What is it? Sishyas are the problem. How to get the audience is a problem. See, explaining not a problem. See, I'll explain. Very easy that is. Explaining Bhagavad Gita, what is a big problem? I can explain Bhagavad Gita so easily. The problem is how to get people. 25 years teaching, 40 fellows are sitting in the class. Per year, if we have 2 fellows, means by now there should be 50. Uttarayana Kala, 1 fellow, Dakshinayana Kala, 1 fellow, means per year we should have got 2 fellows at least. Now we are having only 42. In that, I myself was 2. So, only 40. Such a difficulty, I tell you. But Gita explanation is very easy. Not a problem at all. You know, very simple, sir. Ultimate goal. Remember that understanding that to be the ultimate goal itself is so difficult for us. For us, what is the goal in life? The goal of life is how to pursue world. Now, wealth is only just an example we give. That's all. Don't take it literally. Wealth only we are referring. Anything that worldly thing you are going to be pursuing. That worldly pursuit is this. Now, that doesn't mean Vedanta is against the pursuit. No. What he is referring to is whenever you are doing something or you pursuing that as an end or a means for that ultimate end. You can pursue wealth, name, fame, power, position, relationship, anything. Nothing wrong in that. But the problem is you take pursuit of that relationship itself is ultimate. Once, my son gets married, settled. Settled in what? After marriage, only problem starts actually. Before marriage, no problem. But genuinely, we believe what? Marriage means settled. Or once you get a house, you are settled. Once you build a house and live there, own house. The apartment, no. Not allowed. Why? The apartment means, the land is not yours, no. So even if it is a small place, 30-40 site is okay. But that piece is my piece now. And he thinks what? Once he gets that, he is settled. So whole life is working only for that goal. He says that's not the final one. That is all intermediary goals. Now, intermediary goals should be understood as intermediary goals. The problem is you are taking that intermediary to be the final. That is why he has to introduce to you stating this avyakta, that imperishable avyaktam is the ultimate goal. Yes. There's a question there. Brahmaloka falls under first avyakta as it is limited by time and space. I don't know where it falls, but definitely it is not. Because Brahmaloka is, vyakta or avyakta for us. Brahmaloka is manifest. Brahmaloka. Loka means what? The very meaning of the word loka means experienceable. The very definition of vyakta is what? There's a question there. So Brahmaloka falls under first avyakta? No. Brahmaloka, all the lokas fall under the category of vyaktam. Then what is avyaktam, sir? You can never understand the first avyakta itself. That is why it is referred as Maya. Maya principle. Avyakta. But then don't take that avyakta to be the same as final one. No. There is yet another avyakta. So this all the lokas, all the 14 lokas fall into the category of vyakta, not avyakta. It cannot be avyakta by the very meaning of the word loka and vyakta and avyakta. Now, anything that is limited in time and space, you can say is not second avyakta. Correct. Okay. But both vyaktam and first avyakta, both are subject to time and space. Limited by time and space. Right. So vyakta and avyakta both are limited by time and space. But Brahmaloka, by the meaning, it has to fall into the category of Yaktava. Okay. The first point he gives is the unmanifested. The second unmanifest is imperishable. Point number 2 is ultimate goal. Now, what is the difference between this and the other goals? We also have very many goals in life. We also achieve those goals. And this ultimate goal. In what way this ultimate goal is different from other goals? Those who reach it do not return. Now, first time you read, if you are not brainwashed, okay, first thought should have been what? First thought should have been what? No return. My God. Why no return? No return ticket, which means you will not come back to this world at all. Right. Then why you are building so much? You go, finished. No return. This no return means you will not be forced to return. You may choose to return. See, that's by your choice. That's what in the 4th chapter he said. Your birth and my birth are different. Arjuna, don't think. Both of us have taken birth. Krishna also has taken birth. Arjuna also has taken birth. But Arjuna's birth is called a Jananam. Krishna's birth is called Avatar. What is the difference? By the force of your desires, you will take birth. By the force, by the pressure of your vasanas, you are forced to take that particular embodiment, that environment. You are supposed to live there. You are forced to go through these things. Whereas no return, when he says no return to this issue. What is the issue? We come back by the force of it. Then you can understand. Otherwise, first reaction would be this. At least I had that, fear. As such, then why realize, my question was that. We are not going to come back at all. We are making the world better, we are saying. World is getting better, world is getting better. For after 200 years, the world is supposed to be having better things, no? My worry was better movies will come. We will not be there to watch. That was my worry at those days. So better movies will come, no. Because old movies, I couldn't sit and watch. After a point, couldn't sit. Now this movies I'm able to. But futuristic movies are not, we are able to appreciate better. That's why we are all watching English movies. Because there, Hollywood, movies are better. Bollywood we will not watch because we are all from South India. So we belong to the category. Hindi Tiriyad Poda category. We will not. But this one was, English movies now we watch. Why? Because you see, as a Terminator, when that movie came, my God, unbelievable. What a sensation. I don't know how many times I had watched that movie in theater, not a DVD. Theater we go and watch. So grand. So which means after 200 years, movies should be much better than this, no? First time this My Dear Kutti Chatan came, the 3D movie, first 3D movie we saw. It is known as My Dear Kutti Chatan. The ice cream, it comes so close. Maybe after 200 years, I thought, actually from movie they'll give ice cream itself to you. And this man says, you come to me, I will train you, I'll teach you, you grow, you evolve spiritually. After that, what will happen there? You will not come back. I said, Ayyo. Will not come back means what? You will not fall back to that old. What is the old system? Old problem of us. Old thing is what? Old thing is I am forced to come. The force is there. The pressure of vasanas are forcing me to take birth. Our condition is what? I do again and again and again. That's what one poet beautifully described what is mind. He says your mind is exactly like your stomach. What does it say? You can keep on putting everything. A point would come where you will say, that's it, man. I don't want it. That's why they say, of all the dhanas, Annadhana is the highest. Why? Only in Annadhana the man says enough. For how long? South Indian will never say enough. He will say aprom. He will say later. Enough will never come. He is filled up means he will not say enough, I don't want. He will say I'll have it later. Dinner time we'll have. Temporary only. You feel as though you are filled. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more is needed. In a matter of few hours, not even few hours, few minutes is enough. You start feeling what again? Empty. Again you have to fill it. Again it goes empty. Again fill up. Again empty. This is the condition of your mind. That's the condition of your mind. Every time you struggle to fulfill that desire, you go ahead and fulfill that desire. What is the effect, sir? It gives you a temporary sense. The ultimate goal is what? You are actually expecting a permanent fulfillment. You permanently wanted to be filled up. Now, are you able to get it? You are not able to get it. There is only chance for you to get it. Only when you pursue and reach the second object, the unmanifest. Only there is a possibility. Otherwise, if you don't understand it like this, you will get scared. Otherwise, you will go on saying, I don't want one more Janma. That is because of brainwashed. Somebody told you again and again and again, you also keep repeating it. I don't want, I don't want. You don't even understand what you are not wanting, what you are denying, what you are saying no for. You are saying no for the old pattern because the definition of growth I have told you. The definition of growth is you cannot fall back. Anything that has reached refined things can never become unrefined again. That's impossible. You see, that's why if you see the signal, you see the beggars, no? Right? You look deeply into the eyes of the beggar. He has an arrogance. Have you seen that? He has a very subtle arrogance. Looking at you. What is arrogance? Any day, I can never become you, but you can become like me. This is how every beggar looks at you. He can never become you. That is not possible for him. He knows that. But he says what? You can become me, man. Yes. You can change. This way, not possible. The other way, it is possible. Deterioration is easy. Growth means what? You should not be able to fall back. That's called growth. If you are going to fall back, it is not growth. You are saying economy is growing, economy is growing. Not growing. Every 5 years, you say there is recession, sir. Recession every 5 years. Every 5 years, you are going to go through recession. And what's the meaning of development? Growth. Economy growing, economy. What? Where is it growing? Human intelligence is growing. Intelligence is growing. Is it really true? It's so interesting to see. It's not real growth. It's just, swelling. just a boil, it's a bubble appearing to be expanding, burst. That's all that is happening. Real growth, the definition of real growth is you should not be able to fall back. It's only possible in the spiritual growth. That's why it is referred as Paramam Gati, ultimate goal. Do not fall back. And finally, he tops the whole thing, stating that is my supreme abode. Tattama Paramam Mama. That is my supreme abode. That is where I am. See, this is what the ocean says. Whatever you try to accomplish within this world, all perishable. It's not imperishable. That ultimate goal is that imperishable. So he qualifies that. That manifested is called the imperishable. It is said to be the ultimate goal. Those who reach it do not return. That is my supreme abode. They don't return. So which means Krishna will not come back again. That's all it means. If he comes back, he'll come in a different form, not as Krishna. Otherwise, next Janma, Rama should have come again. Narsimha should have come, no, again. To destroy Ravana, why not Narsimha come? No, every situation is different. In a different situation, he will, if he chooses to come, he chooses. On what basis he will choose? All that he has explained earlier. If at all he chooses to come. But you can't demand. The force cannot be possible. He may choose. That is there. 21 or 22. Purushas Parah Partha. Matya Taptastvanandaya. Yasyantastani Bhutani Ena Sarvamidam. O Partha, that supreme being in whom all beings dwell, by whom all this is pervaded, is indeed attainable by unswerving devotion. And now what he is giving is, this verse he is giving two things. The first he is giving the nature. The second he gives is the way, the marga, the methodology. That highest goal, you may have the highest goal to achieve, but how do you achieve it? Is the next idea he is giving here in verse 22. O Partha, that supreme being in whom all beings dwell, by whom all this is pervaded. All this is pervaded to him. Now, don't worry. This part is what he is going to be. Detailed explanation is going to come. Right? In the next chapter onwards, we will see that. The first line. Yasyantastani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. This is going to explain. So the details you get, all that you can understand here when he says is sarvamidam tatam. He says, what you need to understand is, the ocean says, I pervade all the waves. All the waves. The water, the ocean says, the water says, I am the ocean, I am the wave, I am the foam, I am the froth, I am and all that is pervaded by me. That's all. And now you can keep on adding examples. The waker's mind says all the dreams are there. And all that objects, the space says, I am the source of it. And for all the ornaments, gold says, I am the this. That's all. So like that he says, by whom all is pervaded, is all this is pervaded in the world is through this. That's what he's explaining here. But what is interesting he gives here is the method also he gives. Now, how do you reach there? He says, you reach there by unswerving devotion. Right. Now, don't believe there is a separate chapter we are going to have on devotion itself. Right. Bhakti Yoga, where we will see in detail what is Bhakti. But all that he is giving here is this much. He says, this is what is the idea here. Now, what he is saying is, here, this Ananya Bhaktya, it says, this unswerving devotion means a constant identification, a constant thinking, the ability to have Ananya, no other, no division, undivided attention on the self. The one who maintains that undivided attention on the self alone, he gets it. That is the method to reach there. Now, how do you reach to that? One, sir, constant thinking, this unswerving devotion, undivided one. The very fact that he says undivided one, understood as what? Divided devotion also exists, isn't it? Undivided devotion means there is a possibility of a divided devotion. See? What is a division in devotion? Divided devotion, undivided devotion. He says, how do you reach there? Don't hold on to this divided devotion. Take to that undivided devotion. What is that? Devotion, we understand from three angles. From Upasana angle. Okay. We are just discussing as Upasana Marga alone. Bhakti. If you take that Bhakti, in Bhakti you have three stages are there. Essentially, Bhakti goes through three stages. The lowest stage, or the first stage, is where there is a devotee, there is a deity, and the goal of the devotee going to the deity. Isn't it? When you go to a temple, you are there. You understand you are different. God is different. Isn't it? You go to Ganesha temple. I am different. Ganesha is different. And then you have an agenda. What is agenda? I have to pass the exam. Is the agenda. Then you go to Ganesha and seek his help to pass the exam. Or other fellow goes to Tirupati. He says what? Balaji, please help me to get more this one. Let me get the contract. Let me win this tender. Let me get this profit. And then if I get that profit, then comes various divisions. You see, then comes various differences are there. What's the differences there? In that in the devotee, in the bhakta, there are divisions. What are the divisions? We have seen earlier that there are four types of devotees. Artha, Artharthi, Jignasu, Jnani. So there are three things. Okay, first stage of bhakti, you have to understand what we know is three. There is a devotee, There is a bhakta, there is a devata, and there is a purpose. A purpose is different. Devotee is different. Devata is also different. You don't go to Lakshmi temple for Aksharabhyasa, isn't it? Aksharabhyasa, people in Karnataka, we all take the child to Sringeri, Sharda Peetham. Why? Because she is the embodiment of knowledge. Saraswati only you go to. You will not go to this. Decentralized. Right. In the other religions, it's all centralized. One window. All the difference. Which is a better form of governance? I don't know. Which is a better form of governance? I have no idea. But this is a, easier one. Now one fellow says, I want success. He goes here. I want power. He goes there. I want knowledge. He goes there. On this. Now Devata also different. Various Devatas are there. Various gods are there. Various types of devotees are there. Various purposes are there. That's the first stage. All the divisions. You can go on expanding the first stage. And you will see in the first stage, huge thing. Lot of permutation combination existing. Then what happens, sir? As the devotee starts pursuing, slowly what happens? That 3 divisions reduces to 2. There's only 2 divisions. First stage, there are 3. Devotee, God, goal. Okay. In the second stage, what happens is, slowly that purpose gets merged with the devotee or God. Now there are only 2, no 3. There's only 2 now. Dvaita. Right, dual. Earlier it is plural. From plural, it comes to dual. 2. What are the 2? Devotee is there and God will be there. Ananya Bhakti, he says. The third stage you would have guessed by now. What is the third stage, sir? The third stage, this devotee and God merges. But don't expect to jump to the third stage. That's what we saw in the last verse itself. Anything subtler, anything higher will always appear easy. That's why the third one will look the easiest one. What is it, sir? That is what Shankara calls as Jnani. Jnani is Bhakti. Where that merger, there is no distinction or division between the devotee and God. How do you know? Very easy to identify. In anybody's house, you go, ask for the puja room. Go and see the puja room. In that puja room, they should have a mirror. Only. Then they are in the third stage. Right? The mirror means what? You see yourself. I am that. I am God. Now there, what is it said? I am worshipping you, you are worshipping me. What is there to? You go there and stand and admire yourself and come out. There is nothing there for you to ask. Now, what are you going to ask there? That is a Jnani stage, where he is no longer having any deities there, gods there, nothing will be there. Plain one. If it is nothing there, then it is a different one. Okay. No. That's not Jnani. Jnani will have a mirror hanging there. Only that is a Jnani. Sir, in our house, correct Ishwaran, in our house, puja room itself is not there. We have become so merged together. No, puja room itself is not there. Na? Different equation that is. No, no. A third stage of bhakti, that is the method for you to reach, which means you may start at the first stage, progress to the second stage, and then conclude with the third stage. You cannot start your journey with the third stage. That is not possible. Okay. You start with the first, but slowly you have to switch over. Now, in this, the most interesting one is the second stage, that middle one, where he is totally lost. Loses that earlier one. He is yet to get established in this. Is somewhere in between. That is a fascinating stage. We will see all that. Details and all we will see later. In Bhakti, when we go, we will study all this in more in detail. The second stage is a very interesting one. Bhakti, how that devotion grows, multiplies, and he goes to the next stage. And then he says, by whom all this is provided. By whom means by that unmanifest, by that imperishable. By that imperishable, all this is provided, is indeed attainable by unswerving devotion. And we think devotion is very easy. In Kali Yuga, the easiest thing is devotion is the best. You don't understand the meaning of the word devotion. Therefore, we think devotion is so simple. It doesn't have to be a simple man. Just surrender. No. The people say, just surrender. All they have to do is what? Surrender. Surrender what? How can you surrender? You're full of ego. How can you surrender? Impossible. If at all you claim surrender, if at all you claim faith, it is only to the extent you are what? You say, I have surrendered to you, sir. Surrender to you once, I'll follow whatever you say. Whatever you say, I'll do. 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 Which one you will do? Anything that is convenient to you. And then you will put the blame on God. There. You only said no. You only said no. What you only said? Why? That's why we don't give advice to people. We will come for advices, but we don't give. This. Explain and leave. Explain and leave. Because and they genuinely think, why? They just wanted to, they have already decided to do something. They come and ask you only for this. That's why if someone asks for advice, don't give. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. They have to really, pull it out of you. Then how do you know this? When you are instructed to do something which you tread to do, and you say, yes, I will do that. That is called a surrender. It's impossible for you to conceive on earth. How on earth I will do something like this? No ways I'm going to do it. You are so scared. You are terrified with the thought of doing something like this. A simple thing, just say sorry and go, man. Problem solved. What do you mean sorry? You know what she said? You know what he has done? You know how she did say that? He has told this person, he has told that person. They have no, just say, you have said something, you have done something, say sorry and walk out. What is your problem? No. So now you tell me what I should do. Now all that they are asking is, give me a strategy to fight. That's all. I'm not saying you should not fight. Okay. In this situation, yeah, another situation, you want to say sorry and walk out. I say, no, no, no. You got to stand and fight. That's exactly what Arjuna's condition. Arjuna wanted to get out of the battlefield. How can I fight? How can I fight? How can I fight? And Krishna knew this exactly. What is this condition? That is why he took the chariot and placed right in front of Bhishma and Drona. How to fight the battle? Look at those fellows, man. They are fighting. Follow them. Yes. But still Arjuna couldn't understand. This is the beauty of Krishna. Even Arjuna could even recognize his problem. Krishna has given the solution already. He has given the solution to him. What is his problem? How can I fight those people? Bhishma and Drona fighting? No. How are they fighting? Look at that fellow. Pure obligation. The whole world knows Drishtadyumna was born to kill Drona. Drupada, I suppose you all know the story. Drupada, the king, got humiliated at the hands of the Pandavas and, Drona. Right? So, he wanted two things. He said, if I wanted to be functioning in this world henceforth, I need a strong support. The strong support of the Pandavas are required. Amongst the Pandavas, the most powerful fellow is Arjuna. So, let me get a daughter to marry Arjuna. One. So that I will become Arjuna's father-in-law. If I become Arjuna's father-in-law, that's it. No one dare to come anywhere near me. My kingdom is protected. Second one, he said, perform a yajna to get a son who will kill Drona. Right? And the best part, you know what? This is not interesting. The most interesting part is the whole world knows that Drishtadyumna was born to kill Drona. And Drona takes him as his student and teaches him archery. Teaches him the Anurveda. He trains him fully. For what? Complete training was given by Drona. For what? To kill Drona. A sensible man should have done what? You want to learn from somewhere else. Get out. Come here. In the colleges, Purni is done. Now they're asking one question. The student interview. What will you do to the college? If you take me in your college, I will burn the library. Imagine if a student were to say, I'll burn the library. Fantastic. 100% scholarship. Admission. You think the college must have gone off, Exactly the same. Even library burning is nothing. Here, I shoot you. Says, don't worry. I will teach you how to shoot. I'll train you. And Bhishma is who what? The kingdom which he has renounced. He says, I don't want it, man. He says, for that only these two fellows are fighting. Imagine suddenly Bhishma decided, all Kauravas, all Pandavas, and your blind father, mother, stupid mother, all of you pack your bags, banished out of Hastinapur. Right? Don't worry. They simply have to pack. and no other country would have dared to give them asylum. Impossible. All these 108 fellows, Kunti, Dhritarashtra, Gandhari, 500. All 108 would be wandering in the jungles only, the rest of their life. There's no way anyone would have dared to challenge Bhishma. Right. Now, that man is standing there to fight the battle. For what? He says, look at Bhishma, look at Drona, man. He goes and places a chariot right in front of those two. He has already given the solution. But Arjuna goes on asking what? This. But then he says, I surrender to you. I surrender to you. What surrender? Being surrender is not easy. To trust someone is not easy. Remember, very, very risky. One of the most courageous acts of a human is to trust someone. It's the most courageous. Why it is courageous, sir? Because of the very nature of trust. Independent of on who you invest the trust on. Who you trust is not the point. The very nature of trust, faith, surrender, devotion, belief, all same thing. At least in this class. All this is, what is it? All different, all same thing. What happens there? The moment you develop that faith, surrender, you are open. When you are open, when the doors are open, don't think only cool breeze will come. The filthy smell also will come. The dust also will come. Pollution also will come. All the germs also will come. The moment you keep the doors open, fearing that pollution coming, fearing the germs coming, fearing that foul smell coming, you shut the door, what happens? This is what most of us do. You keep it open, this is the problem. The moment you are in the mood of surrender, in the state of devotion, in the devotional state, your entire personality is open. That openness makes you vulnerable. You become vulnerable. You can be deceived. You can be exploited. But there is the other side to trust. The other side of the trust is, other side of the coin is, one side of the coin is vulnerability. The other side of the coin is, even though you may be vulnerable, but you can never be miserable. Misery and trust can never go together. If you say, I have trusted someone and I am miserable, that means not that you have trusted somebody wrong. It's not the object of your trust. That is not. The very trust itself is a problem. It's not the person. Remember, I trusted a wrong person. Sir. No, there's no such thing called you trusted a wrong person. You do not know trust. You did not know how to trust. You did not understand what is trust, what is faith, what is devotion, what is surrender, what is bhakti. Then comes Ananya Bhakti. See, first you need to understand bhakti, then you have to understand Anya Bhakti, then only you can reach to Ananya Bhakti. It's a fascinating one. There are stages in devotion. The first stage, three things exist. Second stage, the goal merges into devotee, or it merges into God. Merges into devotee in the sense, one of the fascinating, thing I saw in one of the series only. So I don't remember which series is that. There a fellow says, "What are you praying?" He is asking, "What do you pray?" He says, "I pray to God to teach me how to pray." This is the second stage. This is the second stage. I pray to God to for the well-wishing of the Lord. A devotee, only in our tradition, these people have all these weird things. A devotee has sung, has given his blessings to the Lord. A devotee goes and he blesses the Lord. He goes and sings Pallandu for God. Hey, how can you go and sing? Eh? Does God is supposed to bless you or you are supposed to bless him? Yes, no. I bless you. I am bigger than you. I am richer than you, he says. And he gives a fascinating argument for that. I am rich, you are poor. I feel sorry for you, he says. Why? He gives reasons. He says, see, I have father, mother. Do you have father, mother? Who's your father? You don't have father. He's asking Lord Shiva, do you have father? Do you have mother? Parvati is the happiest woman in the world. No mother-in-law problem. No mother for you. Poor fellow you are. But I have father, mother. Therefore, I am better than you. Therefore, I am qualified. He says. I have a name. Do you have a name? The one who has name and the one who doesn't have name. Who is rich? The have or have not. Weird arguments, Yes. Therefore, I am giving it to you. This is what Kamban says. Yeah. Yes. Vasishta charitably gave the name Rama to Rama, to the child, says. Indanan, he says. Means, charity. Okay, give it. Who will give like that, sir? The one who is rich will give it to the poor. And Vasishta felt poor looking at Rama. Why? No name for him. But Vasishta has a name. Therefore, who is superior? I am superior, he says. This Bhakti, the second stage, takes a different turn. The first stage, three things are there. Various divisions are there. All that converges in the second stage. In the third stage, where there is no division between the Devata and the Bhakta. Both become one. That is what he is referring to as Ananya Bhakti. See you in the next class.